So, I want to speak on a lot more things that took place that first time I went back to Harrisburg because there's so much more. So, every now and again, my children would ask me if they could walk to the store, and usually the store is close, it's on the corner or it's across the street. And of course, I would be hesitant because I don't trust anybody at this point. So, I would let them go. Eventually because, they were together. So I'm like, okay, I can't live in fear. So I'm going to let them go to the store. They would come back and tell me that there were cars in the parking lots of the stores. Certain cars would be trying to run them over. And this happened more than 3 times. I also drove for Lyft and I did DoorDash, just all around hustling. I didn't really do much outside of hustle. And they hacked into these accounts. And what they would do is they would lead me into dead ends and ditches. This was another thing they were doing. When I was driving for Lyft, they would harass me while I would have a Lyft customer in my back seat. It was non-stop bullshit. It was as if any income I was making, they were trying to block it at all costs. Mind you, I did hair. I also had a full-time job. I also did Lyft. I also did DoorDash. I was non-stop moving. So it just seemed like they were trying to stop me from doing all of this. And honey, they were so successful. I lost everything. Also forgot to mention that first time that I left, and I was in Oklahoma, I believe. Somebody actually stole garments out of my clothes while I was in Oklahoma. This is how I know they were still following me. That first time when I got back to Harrisburg, they also stole my clothing out of the dryer at a laundromat. It just didn't stop. It does not stop there. So while I'm in Harrisburg that first time before I decided to leave that second time, I was noticing a pattern of things happening around me with not only people that lived in the neighborhood in Harrisburg, but also with family members on my father's side and my mother's side. So what I noticed was everybody around me had family members that just started dying. Everybody around me, the people in the neighborhood, people on my mother's side of the family, people on my father's side of the family, everybody's dying and dropping like flies. This was that first time I came back to Harrisburg from running from who, what, when, where, and why. My grandmother, my aunt, my cousins, so many people died. And the family member in Baltimore that I stopped at, out of nowhere, her mom died. All of these people were dying out of nowhere. Even the people in the city of Harrisburg that lived near my grandmother's house. Although this is happening and there's like massive death happening around me, while I'm over here still trying to save my life and my children's lives, I still wasn't getting it. I still wasn't paying attention. I just figured maybe this is just a bad time or something that's going on in the world. Never really putting it all together. It wasn't until I got a chance to actually breathe that a lot of things started to reveal itself to me on top of what God was revealing to me. I've written down a list of the people that popped it up in my dreams. I also wrote down everything that had happened to me. And I also wrote down faces that I recognized throughout the torture and the attacks. And this is a sidebar. When I was working for Lyft and those cars were pulling up on me, harassing me while clients were in the back seat, the very first guy that did it, he was in like a red minivan and he looked white or Latina, one or the other, I don't know. And he's yelling, "Fuck you, bitch." I mean, was going ham. Mind you, I've never seen this man before a day in my life. So I'm asking the passenger in the back seat, I'm like, you know who this guy is? He's like, I have no idea. And I'm sitting there confused, like, what the hell is going on? I've written down a list. And this is a list that consists of people that have come into my dreams. This is a list of people that I believe also have something to do with it. I have done my own research. I have done my own investigating, even on people in the city. I don't care if it was considered love interest that I once upon a time dealt with. I don't care if it's considered family, because I never really had much friends. So in this situation, I'm thinking to myself, it has to have something to do with a past love interest or someone close to me, because I'm a loner. I've written down this list, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to release this list just yet, because I'm going to continue to tell my story before I do so. That will be the finale of telling my story.